Hello, I'm David Karandish, CEO and co-founder here at Capacity, and we are going to be talking about our capacity roadmap for 2026. Let me share my slides and we will go ahead and dive in. So as I mentioned, we're talking about building a better CX. Agenda for today, first we're going to cover what's happening in the market. What are we seeing out there? Why is automating your customer experience so difficult? And yet, how could it be so much easier? We're going to talk about inbound AI agents. What does that mean to have AI agents deflecting tickets, emails, and phone calls? We'll talk about real-time agent assist. How do we help your support team do its best work? We'll talk about post-interaction workflows. After you've had an interaction with a customer, how do we make sure that that is as seamless as possible in terms of downstream flows? And then lastly, we'll go with outbound campaigns, reaching out to new customers, prospects, etc. Starting out, let's talk about the market. I wanted to start out with this question that I feel like is on many CX leaders' hearts right now. Just why is this so challenging? It seems like there's all this tech out there. Why is it so hard to create a great customer experience? So what we're going to do on this slide is we're going to walk through the different aspects of the customer experience journey. If you want to create an amazing CX, you want to be able to welcome the customer. We'll call our Connie the customer for today. We want to authenticate her, listen to what she has to say, maybe do some language interpretation. She might be calling in English today. She might be calling in Spanish in 10 minutes. We want to understand how she's feeling. We want to answer her questions, and not only answer questions, but take actions. We want to escalate up to your team as needed, inform your support team, Angie, the human agent, with all your CRM data, replay back what happens on site, respond with live chat, share screens together, get those real-time agent assist suggestions, coach Angie on what to say, learn what she says, store that back in the knowledge base, transcribe her session, summarize her call. Angie's boss, Manny, the manager, he can't listen to all the calls. So we want to be able to automatically QA those, automate workflows behind the scenes, reach out to Connie, get a CSAT survey from her, maybe even prompt her to write a review, reach out via outbound campaign, schedule time to meet with her, and then collect payment. These are the 24 steps of the customer experience journey. If you wanted to create the end-to-end be-all, this is what you would need. Now, it would be a lot of work to either build or find vendors for each of these. But what gets even more challenging for CX leaders is trying to do this, getting every aspect of the customer experience tied in with each other. There are 24 steps of this journey. There's 276 nodes. For my math-friendly folks on this call, it is an n squared minus n over 2 problem. That's the last math geek outs that we'll do for this call today. But this is why you all are feeling so much pain. And then if you go to try to pick vendors for this, there's so many apps. The average enterprise today is using over 1,000 apps. Now, when I was thinking of framing this up in terms of when have we seen this before, I think it's actually helpful for us to jump in our DeLoreans and go back in time to the late 90s. Now, if you remember at that time, Steve Jobs and Apple were making a huge comeback. And one of his first things that he did is he said, we need to dramatically simplify how we think about our product lines. And if you remember at that time, it was, we've got an iBook for consumer notebooks. We've got a PowerBook for professional notebooks. We've got a Power Mac for professional desktop. And we've got iMac for consumer desktop. And this was Steve Jobs' plan to take all of the massively confusing technology landscape and say, are you a consumer or are you a professional? Do you need a desktop or do you need a notebook? Now, obviously, Apple has done an amazing job building great products and expanding from here. But in a time of much confusion, it's helpful to simplify. And so we are trying to do something very similar here at Capacity. And we've taken those 24 steps of the customer experience journey, and we've mapped them back into 4 key areas. You've got supporting your customers and then supporting your support teams. And then you've got one-to-one reach outs and you've got one-to-many reach outs. So starting with one-to-one for customers, that's where we're going to talk about these inbound AI agents. For one-to-one for your support team, we'll talk about real-time agent assist. For one-to-many for your support teams, we'll talk about post-interaction workflows. And one-to-many reach out to customers, we'll talk about outbound campaigns. Now, David, can you unpack that a little bit? Inbound AI agents are here whenever you have an email, a ticket, or a phone call that you want to deflect. Here at Capacity, we have 20,000 customers. And of those 20,000 customers, every single one of our customers is going to use one of these 4 key areas. These deflections are the cream of the crop, because if I can keep an email or a ticket or a phone call from going to my support team and create a delightful experience, it's a win-win. Second thing, though, is we recognize that there are times where you're going to need to escalate up to your support team. In this case, we want to use AI to assist your team with real-time agent assist. This is providing guidance, next best actions, and then helping you ultimately reduce the handle time, boost your first call resolution, and accelerate your ramp. Now, after the interaction is completed, this is where automating processes come in. These are the post-interaction workflows that could include things like QAing the calls, CSAT, and summaries, but it could also be a downstream workflow. Say, for example, onboarding a new team member, onboarding a customer. Can't always complete that all in a single chat session. And then lastly, we've got outbound campaigns. How do we drive conversions for your team? Now, conversion could be a formal marketing conversion of we've got a lead and we're trying to get them signed up, or we're trying to turn them into a customer. It could also be an informal conversion of, hey, your plumber's coming tomorrow at 8 p.m. or that's probably a late call for a plumber, 8 a.m. We'd love to have you there to open up the door. So could be both formal marketing-driven conversions, but it could also be appointment schedules and reminders. So I look at all 20,000 of our customers. When we are growing deflections, cutting handle time, automating processes, and driving conversions, we've got happy customers. All of this is powered by AI Knowledge Orchestration Layer, so the same data connects for all 4 of these product lines. This is our approach to come in and be your Sherpa, help simplify what's going on in this CX space. Okay, so for the rest of this presentation today, we are going to walk through first some of our recent releases, next things that are coming soon. This will be in Q2 or early Q3, and then some things that will be launching throughout the rest of 2026. And we're going to go through those 4 pillars, starting with inbound AI agents. So the first place to start are the agents themselves. With Capacity, we now have our AI agent builder, where you can drive natural conversations without having preset paths. You go in and you put in your prompt, you can configure your models, you can configure any filters, any wait time, and the AI is going to answer questions in whatever order you ask it. This dramatically reduces the time it takes to build an agent, and it also creates a more natural experience. Now, agents are only as good as the data that they can connect to. So we can connect to your knowledge base, your third-party apps, we can connect to websites, any private cloud sites that you have posted through Capacity, and then we can collect data as we go along. So our AI agent builder is designed to collect variables and then both push and pull data into your downstream systems. Now, it's one thing to build AI agents. It's another thing to know, how do they do? With Capacity, we have recently introduced our resolution types, where you can mark something as a conversion or an escalation. This allows you to track the key outcomes that happen out of an interaction, whether that's from a completely digital virtual agent or from a human agent with live chat. And you have both primary resolution types as well as resolution subtypes. So you can mark something as an escalation, a courtesy, a business rule, a live chat, a submit ticket to your liking. Next step, we are continuing to expand our app center. We have over 250 apps you can connect to with Capacity, both pushing and pulling data from some of the biggest names in the software ecosystem. All right, a new release that we had, I believe this is end of Q4, is our embedded agent analytics. This is where you can go pull up a conversation and see how did people do, which paths were taken as you are building the AI conversation out itself. Another big area that we released recently is browsing your index knowledge. David, what does that mean? For those folks new to Capacity, with Capacity, we can both host a knowledge base. So if you need a place to store data, we can do articles, we can do Q&A, we can do PDFs, we can do documents, etc. But we also recognize the fact that many of you have Google Drive and SharePoint and HubSpot and Dropbox and various data stores out there. So we have now set it up so that Capacity can be your indexed knowledge ecosystem where we can go across the different data stores you have and you can go browse that data. New thing we haven't announced yet, this is actually my first time announcing this, is we now have our multilingual console in beta. So this is a snapshot of our friendly Capacity knowledge base, but you could then pull that up into Spanish or into German. I think we have it in now 11 different languages. It runs through a nice little Chrome plugin. All of the standard content will be translated. Any of your content in the center is left in the language that it was written in. We've also recently released a bunch of natural TTS voices into our Capacity voice agents. So we have 75 different voices across 12 different languages. Some of them are ones we've developed. We also work with some third parties for that as well. Now, I have a few clients on this call who use Capacity Private Cloud. So Capacity Private Cloud is when we're deploying parts of Capacity into your private cloud environment. We are launching a new private cloud portal this year. We're pushing to get this out in Q2. It will have a lot of the same look and feel of the Capacity SaaS platform and also offer some of those multilingual capabilities as well. Also coming soon is the import and export of agents and workflows. David, what does that mean? Up until recently, you could go build an agent or build a backend workflow in Capacity, but there wasn't a great way to be able to import or export or bring that into another similar agent. Now with the click of a button, you can go import and export. This is going to save a ton of time when you are, for example, trying to go build a staging and UAT agent, and then you want to push that to prod. Another big thing we are working on for Q2 are ASR improvements. We've got enhanced batch processing happening for our Capacity automated speech recognition. This is going to be GPU-based, so it'll be a little faster from that standpoint. We also have a new voice activity detection algorithm implemented that should go live here in the next few weeks. We're splitting our ASR service into a couple of different subservices, whether you're looking for real-time ASR, real-time transcription, or batch transcription. And then we've got a new version of our diarization. For those who don't know what that is, diarization is the ability to pick up how many speakers you have on a particular call. I think we can support into the dozens with this new rollout. All right, one thing I'm really excited about is our AI Agent Autopilot. Now, to think of, for the folks who are existing Capacity customers, we've had our Autopilot feature for the last year where you can type in a question in natural language, email it into Capacity, and Capacity will respond back with a natural sounding email as if a human had written it. Now, our Autopilot to date has only been one shot. So you can send something in, it will respond back. Our new Agent Autopilot allows you to have a full back and forth conversation. So you could ask follow-up questions. You can select which agent you want to tie that to. And it's just super exciting. This is going to allow you to supercharge your email support. Speaking of supporting folks, I want to talk a little bit about our new internal AI agent coming out this year. So up until now, you've been able to ask questions into Capacity, and they show up in a nice virtual agent concierge type form. We're now going full screen for our internal teams, so you can search files and folders, individual Q&A exchanges, answers, and you can do that across whatever sources you want. And so you could think of this as your internal intranet augmentation and or possibly even replacement, depending on the use case. I put on this one on here. Capacity is going to Europe. We will make sure to keep the Speedos at home. No, we're not actually physically going to Europe, but what we are doing is we are setting up an EU data center. Capacity has traditionally been hosted here in the US. This is going to allow our European customers to get all of the same benefits of Capacity, but also have that hosted in the EU. Agent filters. So with our AI agent platform, we now have the ability to sit on top of the agent response, see if there are any filtered phrases, and then route those to a different area. So David, give me an example. Some of you may have seen, I think early last year, somebody was chatting with an AI agent, one of our competitors, not us, and the AI agent was able to convince them to get a free car. I can understand how, as a car dealership, that's probably not the best policy. So we have the ability now to go in and put filters on top of the agent responses that automatically route you to new places. This is an advanced version of the guardrails we already have in place, but we found customers want to have additional levels of control, and this is opening it up to you to make sure that the agents are only doing what you want them to do. Another area that we are spending a lot of time on are these agent prompt templates. David, tell me what you think about that. So the basic idea here is that we don't want you to have to build an agent and start completely from scratch. And so we are building pre-built agent templates across different industries, education, FinServ, healthcare, et cetera, where you can start with a use case rather than having to start from the kind of cold start blank document problem. This is going to dramatically speed up the ability for our customers to build out and customize agents to their liking. Now, it's one thing for me to create an agent. It's another thing for agents to create agents. So the way this is going to work is you as a team member can go in and say, hey, I want to build a conversation that checks for PTO. The agent comes back and says, sure, what calendar should I pull from? Okay, pull from the team PTO calendar. Awesome, I've made a conversation where you can get notified of PTO requests, and then it will go in and build the agent for you. So I'm super excited about this. This is going to also dramatically cut down the time it takes to add new conversational capabilities, either externally for your customers or internally for your teams. All right, so that rounds out our first portion of our product section. That leads us to our Agent Assist. First thing for Agent Assist is our omnichannel inbox. We released this last year. This is the ability to manage tickets, SMS, calls, chats, all in one place. You don't have to jump around. You don't have to have a different interface. It's one centralized place. If you're an existing customer and you don't have this turned on yet, it is feature flagged. Talk with your account rep. We would like to get you hooked up with this ASAP. I want to spend a few minutes on our real-time Agent Assist. When you get a call or you get a ticket or you get a live chat, we want our customer support teams to spend the least amount of time searching through knowledge bases. So we have a real-time Agent Assist product that is now tied into the capacity knowledge base. So if a customer comes in and says, oh, you know what? I'm curious if a room includes a balcony. Great question. I just got back with my wife and kids from Costa Rica. I want to know if we have a balcony. The desktop Agent Assist product is listening in on the call. It's also checking to see if you've covered various conversation topics. And then it is providing real-time suggestions directly from the capacity knowledge base. Hey, unfortunately, for your order, balcony cabin booked is false. So no balcony was purchased. But it even can anticipate, hey, if you want to add a balcony, here's how much that would be. We're super excited about this feature because what this means is that our real-time Agent Assist customers don't have to go looking elsewhere for an external knowledge base. They can connect that directly to capacity. Also coming here in Q2 is we are getting the Capacity Salesforce app into the Salesforce App Exchange. This allows us to get even deeper in terms of understanding and connecting to your Salesforce data. All right, let's talk post-interaction workflows. One thing we've released recently is the ability to report on all of your custom fields. So we launched this back a little earlier last year, where you can go add custom fields to help desk. You can add custom fields to CRM. People want to see how those things are being filled out. We even have a dependent custom field feature where you can have custom fields that show up based on the previous selections that people make. We now are giving you all the ability to see that data via our custom field reports. Now, one I am over the moon for is our interaction summaries. So imagine we have a scenario here where this David character, back in January, he was browsing the website and he looked at some jeans and coats and sweaters. Then he had a live chat. He wanted to know if those sweaters were sold, and the agent said yes. Then he goes to the website and he makes a website conversion and buys a hunter green cashmere sweater. Then he emails in and says, hey, I want to know, where's the sweater at? Let me get the tracker. Oh no, now he calls up. He's on the phone with Julia, the agent. It's an inbound call and he wants to get rid of his sweater. Well, what we're doing is we're not only saving all of your interactions, which we've been doing already, but we're now summarizing them. So you can see a summarized history of all interactions. You can then click into that summary and then see a sub-summary. So this is a bulleted summary of what that interaction looks like, which then can tie back into the raw transcript. David, why should I care about this? Two things. One, if you're a human agent and you're trying to understand what's happening with a particular customer, you no longer have to jump into all the raw transcripts and figure out what in the world was going on. But two, for our virtual agents, we don't have to give the entire raw transcript context for every ticket, email, live chat, website interaction you had. You can just go in and give a cascading, summarized history of what's going on, including the details for the most recent summary, our most recent interaction. And now all of a sudden, these virtual agents are rocking and rolling with their ability to help your customers. Super excited about this. This is on the Q2 roadmap. Also coming soon, chat with your data. So if I want to be able to ask a question like, what are the top things to focus on as a product team? I want to be able to ask that question and have the AI look through all my interactions and come back to me with what the critical issues are. This is a super exciting feature. We're already kind of preview testing it internally. I think this is going to add a ton of value from an analytics standpoint and unlock the fact that you no longer have to ask Capacity's team to go build reports and build out different views for what you want. You can just ask your question in natural language, and we will summarize that data across your interaction set. Now, this gets paired with this concept that we call pin graphs. So the idea here is that we are bubbling up what those emerging issues could look like, so you can pin a particular graph to your Capacity dashboard, whether that's most common contact reasons, emerging issues, sentiment analysis, automation opportunities. This is going to allow you to look at the data of your interactions the way you want to. Now, the AQA conversational intelligence, this is where we go one step further. Instead of just giving you the raw data for what happened with these interactions, this is where we run all of those interactions through a scorecard. Now, that scorecard can be created by you and your team, or they can be created by an AI. But the basic idea is that if you want to see how an interaction went, having those scores is going to be one of the most important signals to know who's doing well, who's not doing well, what does future CSAT look like, what's going on with the agents, what are some of the effective behaviors that are happening. The cool thing about the way we've designed this is that the exact same scorecard can be used for your human agents or your virtual agents. So it's designed in a way to be scalable across both. The other part here, going back a step, is the ability to take those pin graphs and those key reports that you like and put them into a digest. Not to pick on executives, but executives don't want to log into yet another dashboard. Sometimes they just want to open up their email and see what's going on for the week. And so we're very excited about this as we coming out later in the year. But the idea is you'll be able to set up either weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly digest views on what's happening from a customer experience standpoint. And this is going to help drive a lot of future behavior, a lot of future spend in terms of where should we be spending money in terms of improving our customer experience. Back to our private cloud customers. So to date, we've had the ability to have ASR, text-to-speech, voice biometrics, even some call QA in private cloud. Our agents and our dev platform connectors to all of our third-party apps, that has been all on the SaaS side. Well, no longer. So later this year, we will be rolling out the developer platform for private cloud. This will allow you to include APIs, JavaScript scripts, full-fledged agents, and webhooks for your private cloud deployment. And then agentic automations. David, what do you mean by this? So a lot of these terms get really fuzzy, so I'll just give a quick definition. when we think about our world, we think about it in terms of 3 areas. We've got front-facing, consumer-facing agents that are asking questions, responding. Think of them like the server in the front of the restaurant. It's going to ask you, do you want the Caesar salad or the Italian salad? Do you want the pepperoni pizza or do you want the margarita pizza? And then kind of get out of the way. Those are front-facing virtual agents. Then you have back-end workflows where you've got the guys and gals in the back of the kitchen making all the pizzas and all the salads. And then you've got your front-facing, we'll call those your bussers of the organization. Those are like our event-based automations. They wait for a table to clear. They clear the table. They set the table. They wait for somebody to run out of water. They go and they refill the water, and then they wait for the next person who needs a drink. So those 3 all work together. Front-facing virtual agents, back-end workflows, event-based automations. Now, to date, our automations platform has been something where you'd had to go in and specify the automation yourself and build it out. Now with agentic automations, I can say, oh, I want to build an automation if a file name contains overdue. Sure, what action should we take? Start a workflow and send me a broadcast message. Awesome, I made that automation. And the next thing you know, that automation will show up in the back end of the Capacity platform. So this is agentifying the event-based automations that you can run. And again, these run across different systems. I showed this one as a file upload, but this could be related to tickets. This could be related to third-party events. This could be related to website actions, wherever you want to track. We're doing the same thing on the workflow side. So if I said I want to build a workflow that pulls records from my database, what do you want to grab? All these overdue invoices. It will actually go in and create the workflow for you. If you remember a little earlier on today, I was talking about the import and export of those agents and workflows and automations. That is the first step for us getting this out later this year. All right, last item here. Let's talk about outbound campaigns. We have released the ability for you to create a voice campaign where you can either upload a CSV or pull in capacity contacts from a list and then do outbound voice. This is super exciting because this is one of the most powerful ways to reach out to your customers without having to hire full-time people to make all these calls. You can go in and manage all of the messaging, see the campaign flows, set all the call windows, the start times, the retry attempts. All of the different knobs are available at your leisure to go update. We've also recently updated our messaging to include not only SMS, but WhatsApp. Now, in the States, WhatsApp is probably not used as often, but outside of the United States, text messaging is very expensive. And so whether you're in Europe or you're in LATAM or you're in Asia or you're in EMEA, we have companies that are using Capacity to drive a lot of message volume. We now have WhatsApp as an option there as well. Speaking of, we also have the ability to now do not only SMS, but RCS. David, what's RCS? RCS is a rich messaging format that allows you to do, simply put, 2 things. First is you can have more interactive elements in the SMS itself. Some carriers are supporting that today. Some carriers are doing a little bit of a wait and see. But the idea is you're no longer restricted to kind of text and pictures only in terms of what you can send. Maybe even more important, though, anyone here get a random SMS message from somebody you have no idea who it's from? Am I the only one? Maybe, hopefully not. With RCS, we now have the ability to brand your messages. So you can see that this came from a verified, trusted contact. We have released our booking management software, so you can go out and see your calendar availability. This is through our You Can Book Me platform. You can go see my calendar. You want to go book a time. It makes it really easy to do that. We have some big expansions coming to this booking functionality. So you can go select who you want to book from a list, do round robin allocation. You can do pretty advanced stuff like I want to have multiple participants where I need at least 3 people and at least these 2 people are required. Round robin across different teams. You might want to include a resource. So we might have particular Zoom licenses or particular physical rooms that we need to book. Forcing adjacent bookings. So this is for, say, for example, if you're in the consulting field, like as an example, my wife's a therapist. So she sees clients on Thursdays, but she doesn't want to see a client at 11 and then one at 1 and then one at 3:30 and then one at 5. She tries to bunch them up together so she can say, if she gets a client booked at 1, then the next available spots will be at either 2 or noon. So forcing those adjacent bookings is a really helpful component of creating a better booking experience. Speaking of bookings, later this year, you're going to be able to see the capacity calendaring system in the console. So you can see all your bookings and then tie that back to your individual contacts as well. All right, I know we covered a lot. That was about 30 minutes in. I like to leave some time for Q&A. I'm going to get out of these slides and then open up for some questions. All right, it looks like I've got some questions coming in. Let's see here. Question number 1. This is coming from Kathleen. She's an analyst using AI to develop reports and greater insights into the reason why a call was placed. And the caller experience, providing agility and quickly understand and respond to inefficiencies and frictions. We believe that analysts are important, and analysts should not be sifting through every last piece of information. Using AI to be able to extract the data from your customer interactions and to compile that into an easy to use, easy to understand what is going on setup, I think this is going to dramatically improve everyone's ability to understand what's happening with CX. Another question came in. What are we most excited about in the capacity roadmap? Oh man, please don't make me choose which child I like the most. We have spent a lot of time on the AI agent front, so you're going to see us agentifying a ton of the platform. I am particularly excited about what we're doing with the pin dashboards and the natural language interface on top of your data. Okay, here's a question here coming in. What worries you most about AI? When I think about what's happening in the AI ecosystem today, we now are sitting at a point very similar to where the internet was many years ago, where the power of the internet was here, but it wasn't equally distributed. Today, the best in breed companies are going out and using this technology to create amazing experiences. The folks that are not adopting this, there's a meteor coming for those businesses. And you can say, well, David, maybe, obviously you're in the AI space, maybe you're incentivized to say that. Whether you use us or somebody else, if I can only give you one piece of advice coming out of this webinar, if you are not implementing this technology today, I tell you, your customers are demanding it and your competitors are already doing it. So what keeps me up at night is moving as fast as possible to create as much value so you as the customer can go build amazing experiences. Okay, so I had a question here from one of our customers. Is Link, now Capacity, going to offer a similar suite of agentic AI products? Absolutely. Part of the roadmap, and I didn't get into this, I didn't know how many people are on the migration path, but we're actually combining Link, which is a conversational AI for the retail space that we acquired not too long ago. We're combining that with Capacity, so they will be under one platform here in 2026. So all of these agentic products are going to be available for Link as well. Okay, so I got a question here from Harold. Thank you, David. Do you have some feature for speech analytics in real time? Yes. So the real-time dashboards, the real-time agent assist, the asking questions into your data, and then the interaction summaries, all of those are going to be part of not waiting and then having to go see something days or weeks or months later, but the ability to get real-time insights into what's happening. Okay, so I got a question here from Dan. Real-time agent assist tool looks to be from the Creovi team. Side note, Creovi was a company we acquired last year. that recently came into the capacity fold. What other features do you envisage being brought into capacity? We're big users of the agent guidance system developed by Creovai and are interested in the future of the tool. The reason why Capacity acquired Creovai is that Creovai has one of the best, if not the best, real-time agent assist products out there on the market. The first big piece of feedback that we heard was that customers didn't love the fact that they had to only use third-party systems to go connect to. So when I think about, we've particularly mid-market companies, mid-market CX leaders, they're like, I don't have a knowledge base. Can you just put a knowledge base together with this product? So our very first integration is getting the Capacity knowledge base to connect to the Creovai real-time agent assist. So those two can have a lot of benefit together of getting those real-time suggestions. Now, one thing that Creovai did not have was a developer platform. David, why is that important? So we realized very early on when we were building the virtual agent portion of Capacity that to get great virtual agent experiences, we were going to have to connect to your favorite apps. And we started out doing what everybody else did 8-9 years ago, built an integration with Salesforce, and we built an integration with HubSpot, and we made an app for Microsoft Office. And then after about a dozen or so apps in, we were like, I don't want to be an app integration company. We need to make this scalable. So we took the time out to go make it so that you can build an app, put it in the Capacity App Center, have a series of APIs you can go call. Those APIs can push or pull data into those key systems, and those apps can then be used across multiple clients. And so I am really excited about not only providing the knowledge portion for the Creovai real-time agent assist, which again was the first thing our joint customers have been asking us for, but we're also going to be able to hook up any of those Capacity dev platform apps to the real-time agent assist, so it can actually do things for you, not just respond. Okay, I have another question coming in here. Will there be some features to assist with language barriers? Yes. So we're going to couple things on that. On the first I showed here earlier was the multilingual console. So up until recently, Capacity was in English only. Now, as we've expanded, like I said, to 20,000 plus customers, we've got folks with Spanish and Portuguese. We've got folks who are speaking French. We've got folks in all sorts of different, we're getting requests for Japanese, etc. So the very first thing we're doing is to make sure that you can use the Capacity console, one click, and it shows up in whatever language you like. Second thing we're working on, though, is not only that for your support team, but to do language detection. So the idea that you can just start talking and we can detect which language you're in, and based on that language detection, we will then go route you to the appropriate agent, because you might have agents that have access to certain things or policies that are different in Germany than they are in Brazil. So those are the two big kind of language assistant barriers we are working on. The last one I mentioned that we have is the ability to do language translation. We're not the only ones that do this. There are many great providers that do this. We have our own models for that. We also have external parties we can use as well. So if you're ever like, hey, this interaction was great and happened in the right language, but we want to go translate that back into a different language, we'll have the ability for you to do that as well. All right. Anyone else? Questions, comments, ideas, concerns? Okay, I see one coming in here. This is an existential one. I like the existential questions. David, where do you see AI making the biggest impact in the workplace in 1, 5, and 10 years? Okay, to answer that question, we got to go through a little bit of the history of computing. So my dad was an electrical engineer. He came to the United States in 1976. I can remember in our basement, we had physical switch machines from older projects. So we went, if you think about the history of this tech, we went from physical devices to punch cards. And you've got punch cards and you've got binary code to assembly code. And when you got assembly code, it was massively easier to write than binary code. But even I, with a computer science degree, if you gave me a bunch of assembly, I'd just as easy read it if it was Greek. Like it's Greek to me, right? Then we went from assembly code languages to higher order languages like C++. And now things got an order of magnitude easier. You got more and more people who could program computers to do things. Then you added the next higher order languages. You had JavaScript and HTML. And now we're getting to the point to where another order of magnitude is occurring, where if you can clearly define what you want for an AI agent, it is going to build code for you. Now, David, you guys are in the business of selling software. If AI agents can build software, how do I reconcile that? How do I think about that? When I think about what it takes to build battle-tested, enterprise-grade, scalable software with the long tail of features that you need in order to support your customers, the build versus buy of trying to build that yourself, it's not going to make sense. But if you want to go do, for example, a real quick prototyping, you're no longer going to need to go back to an engineering team to say what you want. In fact, I could see in the not too distant future where you could be able to go to Capacity and say, hey, I want to go add these features, and Capacity will actually start to build it for you. So when I think about the biggest change that's going to happen to the workplace over the next 5 years, we're going to go from a world where developer was a title for card-carrying computer science engineers, programmers, to now anyone who knows how to deliver great requirements can work with systems to go build software. Okay, I see another question coming in here. This is Sen from Connecta. Do we have any option to connect to third-party KBs, or AI agents referred to only the Capacity knowledge-based solutions? If so, do we need to upload all of our docs into Capacity? So this is the beauty of the way that we've designed the platform. For people who don't have a knowledge base, we got you covered. You can upload your docs, your Q&A, your articles, whatever you need, we got you covered. But as you can probably imagine, a lot of people already have SharePoint, or they already have Box, or they already have some kind of cloud drives, in which case we have two paths for that. Via our app integrations, we can go connect to third-party apps through our virtual agents to go push or pull data. So I could go in and say, hey, find me that doc for the proposal for Acme Co., and then email it to this person. And it will go in, search, find that information, connect to the email app, boom, off to the races. That's available today. Second part, though, is that we also have the ability to not only use APIs, but to index third-party apps. David, why should I care about that? So I'll give you a quick example. For those who don't know, Capacity does both external customer support automation and internal team member support automation. So we can create better experiences for your customers and better experiences for your team. But if I use this example, if I use the Capacity SharePoint app, API app, I could ask, how many vacation days do I have? It will go in, hit the SharePoint API, give me back 5 blue links. Top link gives me a link to the handbook. I'm on my way. And it's not a bad experience, but there's still a little bit of friction in there. I don't want to have to open up the doc and search through and try to find the PTO section, etc. But we're at the behest of what the APIs give us for that. With our Capacity indexed apps, in this case, we're not relying on Microsoft's API. We're actually going through and spidering your entire intranet, which you might say, hey, how hard is that? Well, not only are we spidering it, but we also have to maintain all the permissions, all the Active Directory roles, make sure everyone can only access the information they're supposed to have. After we've done that spidering, now if I ask how many vacation days do I have, instead of giving me a blue link, it will say, according to Employee Handbook, page 17, paragraph 4, you have X amount of PTO time. So I know that was a long-winded answer to your question, but my answer is we can cover all your bases. We can help answer questions from documents in our knowledge base. We can connect to third-party apps, and we can even index most of those as well. All right. I know that's a lot here to cover. I know I was moving fast. on this. If you guys have any follow-up questions, please reach out to me. Like, I'd love to be able to help you as you're navigating, building an amazing customer experience. I don't see any other questions in the chat. So with that, I am going to wrap this up. For the capacity customers on this call, I want to thank you. Working with vendors can be a challenge. We always try to underpromise and overdeliver. We don't always get everything right, but we love the fact that you guys hang in there with us as we continue to help you deliver an amazing customer experience with these agents powering everything. Agents are the future of the workplace. For the prospects on the call who are considering working with capacity, we would love to connect you with other folks we work with. If you want to hear their stories, I like to say people choose us for the tech. Our tech is really good, but people end up staying with us because our team will help you get the most out of these tools. All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time out. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. But I look forward to helping you automate a great customer experience.